And it says we are live. I'm here. You're beautiful. It's Thursday night. That must mean it's time for GotBot Goes Live. I, of course, am your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, a.k.a. GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. And while you're at it, light them up, baby. Hit the notification bell, please. Helps me out a ton. Let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that is in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. Note, there are some more changes to the production happening. We're also, it's not done yet, we are also changing our internet provider. So hopefully that's actually going to help our situation. This should be the last show on our old internet. I don't know if it's going to make a difference, but we're going to hope that it's going to make a difference. If the show drops, if my screen does the, oh snap, something happened, don't worry, don't fret, don't freak out, don't go away. I'll just end this stream and we'll pick it right up where we leave it off with a part 2. I hope we don't have to do that, but you never know. Let's just check in with you guys and see where you are. Right now, let's see. Hey, Master Fire, Tony. Hey, D-Dog, Blue. Guessing it's either Red Alert or Souls Prime and Firefly to take care. And I'll see. Interesting picks. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, Big M. BS Prime. I've been talking to him just a little bit before even going on the air. Hey, Input. I just got Age of the Prime's Wasp. Nice. Yeah, I hate that they're calling him Fugitive Waspinator. I get why they're doing it. I understand why they're doing it. But I still know him as Animated Wasp. I'm with Master Fire. To me, it's Animated Wasp. Hey, Caldeo. It has been a wild few days of news, a lot of releases, and I'm going to gloss over those because releases are releases, but we'll certainly talk. Hey, Francis, Lion, Tony, if I didn't already say, buddy, haven't gotten anything new, unfortunately. Hey, Killjoy. Killjoy Jiu-Jitsu. What a great name. What a fantastic name. I love it. Okay, now we're going to very first have a moment of silence because if you didn't hear, and it only came out today, though it happened on the 11th of March, we lost someone in our Transformers community. The G1 voice actor for Kickback, who is also, I believe, Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine from Empire, I think. Either way, G1 Kickback voice actor Clive, I think it's Ravel, has indeed passed away after a struggle with dementia. That's a brutal disease. If you know anyone who's had it, friends and family, it's a brutal disease. So deepest heartfelt condolences go out to his friends, his family, and to all of the fans of Kickback. So we will do a moment of silence for Clive. Okay, so I'm gonna try something here now. Actually, before I try this, I'm going to do this. First, I don't know how well you can hear me or not. I've got my mic positioned differently. It's actually up above me right now. And I don't know if it's better, worse, or about the same. Maybe you guys can let me know. Again, we're still working on stuff. I told you we were going to be a while working on stuff, right? Hold on one second. Let me just close this because I don't need this left open on my phone. That ain't helping nothing. The reveals. Let's go into that. I'm going to list everything that I know of, really internationally. And as we approach it in the news, I'm not really going to go in because we don't have to. So hang on to your hats. Here's what kind of released this week. The Blockies Classic Class Rise of the Beast Wave 1 was released in the United States. So they are out there. Hot Wheels Gold Bumblebee. So the Bumblebee that was previously yellow was done all in gold. Apparently it's not Gold Bug. It is Gold Bumblebee, released in the UK. G2 Grimlock Megatronus, released in both Canada and the US. Studio Series Constructicons. I mean, both the Voyagers and the Deluxe. So Bone Crusher and Scrapper at this point. By the way, not for nothing, Scrapper, to my shock and awe, is actually a Voyager. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, so them as well as Transformers 1, Sentinel Prime, Jazz, and Q, all out in the US and Canada at various places. I've seen some, I haven't seen it all. Studio Series Age of Extinction Optimus Prime, the night version. I guess it could also be Last Night Optimus Prime. Also out in the US. The Star Wars Mandalorian crossover out in Canada and the US, as is the Retro Bumblebee and Retro Gears that I think are Walmart exclusives. The Hot Wheels Basic Optimus Prime, the Hot Wheels Optimus Prime without his trailer, that's been spotted in the US. And as Masterfire pointed out, both Waspinator and, in fact, Solus Prime as well, also out in Canada and apparently the US as well. So, like, that's a lot of product in a lot of countries that kind of came out this week. Of course, a lot of the, Asian countries and whatnot have had these things for a while. I have seen the G2 Grimlock. I mean, if you like Grimmy in blue, I mean, he's great. It's a wonderful mold, right? When I reviewed Megatronus, I said then I'm not going to review the blue Grimlock because I've reviewed Grimlock a couple of times. It's the same mold, but in blue. I'm sure it's splendid. Megatronus is amazing. Really, really so much more than I thought he was going to be. Great mass, great articulation. The paint, and I have to point the paint. A lot of times I, of course, talk about the mass. That's not to say that some mass can't be given up for other value. Like I said there, the paint, for example, if for nothing else, the yellow paint, and there's a lot of yellow detail picked out on Megatronus, but it's also rich and deep. Like they must have used a significant number of layers because it's not like a lot of times we get yellow paint. We're like, oh, they could have had another pass with that. Not with Megatronus. And not for nothing, but apparently that mold will only be used for him. Now, does that mean that they couldn't remold it and use that skeleton? I think they could. I assume when Evan said that, what he referred to was that they're not going to recolor Megatronus, right? They might use the skeleton for something. I don't think it's going to be Megatron for the record, but they're not going to use that Megatronus. It's kind of like Vector Prime. Vector Prime, of course, and G-Axis share a skeleton, share mold parts, but I don't think you're going to get Vector Prime outright repainted as another character. Might be repainted as a different iteration of Vector Prime, but it won't be repainted as someone different, right? I think that's what he meant. I don't know if that's what he meant, but I think that's what he meant. All right. Now we're going to test this. You may notice a slight glare off to the side. You may have noticed me looking over here. I actually have a second screen that I'm hoping is going to help, but I'm not sure if when I share this screen now, if all of the comments are also going to come up. We'll see. We're gonna try this. I don't think so. We might be okay. Let's see here. Actually, before we see that, I want to show this. So my Perceptor is the 86 Perceptor, not the new one. By the way, if you're going in looking for 86 Perceptor, this is 86 Perceptor. What you need to go looking for if you want that pack is the More Than Meets the Eye Perceptor 3-pack. Nevertheless, I mentioned last week that I thought it was the same thing, and it mostly is. And a couple of people mentioned a couple of differences. First, the chest. I don't know if the chest is bigger on the new one, or if just this piece that folds down, that's translucent on this one, is slightly smaller, because you can see the very sides of the chest, and you can't see them on this version of the mold. Also, you're not going to see this well on mine because I have an add-on kit on. On the back of Perceptor now, there's a flap to cover up where his head goes. I don't need that. I have this flap already here, again, from a third-party kit that I think I got from our buddy Joe. I think it was Joe that gave me that. So I'm not in for the Perceptor pack. I'd love to have a ram horn, but I got a Rat Bat. I don't need that. I have a Perceptor I'm happy with. I don't I don't need another Perceptor. And I'm not in for a Voyager price. And by the way, I think a Voyager price is an accurate price for this. 2 core classes along with a pretty hefty big deluxe. I think it's pretty good. I think it's the right price. But I don't need another Perceptor. I just don't. I don't need another Rat Bat. I just don't, right? So I respect those who are going in on it. It's not something I need. I mentioned also before we start sharing anything that Scrapper is, to my shock, an actual Voyager. I have been hard on Scrapper saying, man, I don't see how that's a Voyager. Why? Because he has a ratchet. However, his mass, as was shared with me, clocks in at 133 grams. Now, granted, that's slightly small for a Voyager, but there is precedent for it. For example, in Kingdom, Optimus Primal, he was a Voyager at 132 grams. And I said then that it was okay there because there was extra value with all of the paint, as well as the fact that he had such a molded in texture detail of his fur. I said, I get it. They gave up a little bit of mass to give us that extra texture detail, the extra paint, and everything was hinge and swivel. I don't think it was too much given up. I think the added value made up for the lost mass because it was minimal. In the case of Scrapper, again, he's 133 grams. He does have more articulation than the Combiner Wars, than the Combiner Wars one, which is added value. And I'm thinking that there's a significant amount of silver paint on him, though I could be wrong. And I respect the fact that he also has to not only pull off an alt mode and a robot mode, but he does have to become a functional, strong leg, right? So all of that being said, and all of that being the case, I think 133 grams is an acceptable mass for a Voyager price point form. Obviously, it's not in the height, which means that his body, much like Siege Ultra Magnus, must just be real dense, baby. Real nice and dense. I'm cool with that. Okay, all of those caveats out of the way. Let's see if this works. Ooh, yeah, look at that. I am liking this. Now, I'm going to try something here, guys. So I'm going to get you to bear with me just a moment before we kind of talk about this. Yeah, okay. So here, of course, we have Perceptor, as you can see. I'm not going to belabor this, but you can look right there and you can see the side of his chest does have a little bit of red. I'm thinking that the new piece that falls down is just molded slightly smaller rather than him being bigger, but I could be wrong about that. I do think the flap on the back is something that he needed. I said it with Magnificus and I said it with Perceptor. That gaping hole on the back, yeah, was a bit of an eyesore. Wasn't a deal breaker for me, but it was a bit of an eyesore. So I think adding that is definitely a good idea and a good way to go. Okay, let's... Oh, I don't think I had to go into that. That's not where I was aiming to go. Let's go up here. 2 releases. Yeah, this. So... Of course, we all know by now that Liokaiser has been funded. Came in with a grand spanking total of 23,553 people that backed it. There will be updates as we go. This particular set of updates was very interesting. Now, before I get into this set of updates, let's be real clear, because a lot of people are saying, man, I have to wait until the fall. I have to wait until December for this to ship. No. Did you read it? It is not due for an estimated release until fall of 2026. Not 2025, 2026. So it's a solid year and a half out yet, maybe even 2 years out, which sounds like a long time, and it is a long time, but this is still obviously heavy into development. Why do I say that? I say that because of what we have here. First, and maybe I can make this, we should actually go into these. First, for Leozak, they are changing part of the chest transformation so that when he goes to Liokaiser mode, the screw holes on the underside of the nose cone are hidden, which I think is nice. It's going to be those small touches that would make the difference here. Same thing with Guy Hawk and Elbat. I'm going to call him Hellbat. The chest minion had the 5mm peg poking out on the front. That will now go hidden away. So it's kind of changed the way they attach on the chest just a little bit. But it makes for a sleeker, smoother, I guess, silhouette when the chest minion is on Skyhawk and Hellbat. That being said, I'm not really sure what this update is to like his head flaps, but I have heard that the way that they connect is a slight modification to the transformation there as well. But I wasn't clear on what that alteration was. You'll notice right here, I guess it's Evan pointing out the extra parts. These are parts like the thighs of Liokaiser. They attach to Jaruga or Jalguar, whatever name you want to use. He said that these will be remolded to look more like missile pods. And I think that that's a good idea too. It looks like some of the kind of stock images have been like almost kind of kit bashed to look like the missile pods are already molded in, but that's going to go change so that's going to happen. That said, looking at this picture here, with his parts like in alt mode, he looks to be a significant size. I thought that Jaruga was going to be pretty small, but he looks to be a significant size, which I kind of dig. Because they need to be. If they're calling Voyagers, they need to be, right? Drillhorn, Kill Bison, they will now have wheels. And now we get to Death Cobra. And Death Cobra, a couple of things worth noting. First, he did not have thigh rotation. He will now have thigh rotation. And also, when he serves as like the cannon on the shoulder of Liokaiser, all of the chest minions can attach to him. That's also new. They couldn't before. I think that that's neat. Even my custom Liokaiser, like I had a way for all of the chest minions to attach. I did not have a way to include that 7th member, though. So little updates, but it certainly shows how things are still a work in progress, I suppose.
I'll see you after, okay?
Okay. I think it's looking pretty good on the screen. That Starscream wife, she's going off. If you're getting Pepsi, remember, get some cans if you can, or maybe a couple of Dr. Pepper. I like Dr. Pepper. So I think this is good. Now I know what you guys are going to do. You're going to ask me, GotBot, did you back it? Everybody knows how long and hard I've worked on my custom Liokaiser. At the end of the day, did I back this? Yes, I did. It was not an easy choice, but let me tell you why I backed it. And this is not an analysis thing. This is something that you guys kind of wouldn't know from last week. I don't know if I mentioned it last week or not. I don't think I did. But I just signed a contract and started a new position for, well, the next 4 months, the next 3 months, the rest of the school year. So like I got a new job. So this was sort of my way of celebrating that, even though it's going to be a long way away. So that's why I backed it. That said, do I think that this is an accurately priced value? I think it's a bit overpriced. I got to say, but we'll talk about that another time. I don't want to belabor that here and now. We'll talk about that another time. But yes, I do think that it is overpriced. I get the shipping. I do. I understand it. I also get that this is still a work in progress. I hope certain aspects will be added. I had zero interest until everything was unlocked. And even with everything unlocked, while I think in US dollars, it's closer to accurate, when you do the conversion, it's a little more of a hard pill to swallow. But you know what? I have wasted so much time and effort and stuff trying to do the custom to get it the way I want it, that maybe, just maybe, this was destiny for me. What's going to become of the custom? That'll also be something that we'll deal with later on down the line. So I like this. It is certainly not the most successful. That still is, I believe, Omega Prime. And I also think, not for nothing, not only is Omega Prime the most successful, but I think Omega Prime is also the most accurate, I suppose, in terms of pricing. So I do think that this was a bit overpriced. I would have been happier if this was more like $229 US, maybe even $235 US. I think that would have been a better price for it, if you ask me. Let's go back into this. We're going to go up here just a little bit more, and we're going to get off this screen. Because like I said, I'm not going over all of the stuff that was released this week. We've already done that. We'll go down here. Right, there's a release. Oh, I'll note this. The Marvel Sunbow archive has some more character profiles and model sheets and that sort of stuff. I'm not going into all of this, but you have, Sandstorm here and Broadside here. And you got, I don't know, who is this? Runamuck, Runamuck, I think. Octane over here. So, like, if you're into that stuff, you can go to the Marvel Sunbow archive, and you can certainly see all of those. I already mentioned that these were out in Canada. I haven't seen those yet. Haven't seen these yet. Have seen Grimmy. Haven't seen either of the Hot Wheels things. But again, I don't need to go in there. It's the Prime without his trailer and without diecast, I think. And the B with gold. So, I mean, they're pretty straightforward. This was weird. I guess I'll do this now, checking with this. The New Era and Transformers crossover. So New Era does like clothing and hats. And they're doing a crossover with YOLO Park where it's using the AMK Pro Optimus Prime, but it's just being called AMK Optimus, which means it won't have diecast. So it's taking the AMK Pro Optimus mold, the M Deluxe. Is it M Deluxe? Is that what it's called? The smaller one, whatever that is. It's taking that Optimus mold and taking out the diecast and doing it in black and gold. And we've seen black and gold before. It was done with a skateboard company or something using the Titan's Return Power Master Optimus Prime. Primitive skateboards or something like that. This is a bit of a different take with full gold forearms, pelvis, and thighs. Oh no. We just did a countdown list of top 10 characters suffering from character fatigue. Like, give them a break. And Optimus Prime clocked in at number 2 on that list. I mean, I don't need this. You might. Do I think it looks neat? Yes. But I don't know. I mean, it looks neat, I guess. I like the hat. I like the Transformers hat. I think that's pretty cool. So, I don't know. I'm not really into these niche, like weird little niche crossover things. They're not my bag, but I mean, that's just me, right? Rise of the Beast promotional video for Scourge. I'm not going into that. We've seen the YOLO Park Scourge stuff a ton of times. This was 24 hours remaining. I'm not going to lie, that did have an impact on me. But I struggled. I mean, I was down to the wire. When I decided, oh, man, I'm going to do it, I had some stuff going on, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself. And there was like 2 hours left, right? It was like that. Waspinator again, or Wasp, if you will, out in Canada and whatnot, and the U.S. And before I go into Onyx Prime, let's check in with you guys, because I know you've been saying stuff, and I know I've definitely missed some stuff here, and I don't want to do that. Hey, I appreciate that. Transformers Talk Rob for being a super chat super fan. I really, really appreciate it. Especially now where I backed that thing. I'm still not comfortable with it, but you know what? I really like Liokaiser. I like the character. I like the team. I like the fact that they are, they have chest minions who are also little animals, who are also blasters. So they're target masters, they're chest masters. They are a force of 7 that technically can become a force of 14. And then to top it all off, they still combine. I mean, I like Liokaiser. It's like with Dino King. I like Dino King because you have, these 6 bots. They are all pretenders. And then beyond being cool bots and pretenders, they can combine and be a combiner. And their combiner and their pretender shells can still be 6 rumbling dinosaurs. Like, what a force. What a force. I mean, I guess if you want to throw Blue Bacchus and Black Shadow in there, you could, even though they're more rogues. They're more bounty hunter-esque. Let's see. Let's go down through here because I'm doing a lot of jibber jabber in there. Do I still collect purchase third-party figures? Thoughts on the recent Mech Invasion Devastator? I do collect some if they fit in my collection. That's what it boils down to. If they fit in my collection, yes. The Mech Invasion Devastator looks really cool, but I don't know what the build quality is like. I like the look of it. I think it's a great looking Devastator. I think it's an interesting looking Devastator. I have no idea what the build quality is like on it. And I don't think it would be fair for me to say anything more than the looks since I haven't had it in hand, right? But I understand the appeal. If you're wondering about it, I get the appeal. I really do. Hey, Blue Star, if I didn't say it earlier, buddy, got Solus earlier today. She's okay. Interesting. Now, remember, for me, that was Francis, by the way. Blue said, that's what we're all here for, Caldeo. Yeah. She's okay. She's going to have to be, for me, I'm interested to see Solus. I like the look of her. I think she looks beautiful, but she's going to have to be better than Salvia Promenon. And that's going to be a hefty task. We'll see. Wasp was a fugitive. Yeah, Wasp was a fugitive in animated. I get it. They were even going to release a fugitive Wasp. I get why. But to me, it's Wasp, not Waspinator. It's not the Beast Wars lad. It's not that guy. It's a different guy. And that's the way I see it. I see Waspinator as Waspinator and Wasp as Wasp. Now, that's not to say that they're not descended from the same Prime, like Optimus and Prima are descended, Optimus and I guess Rodimus and Sentinel stuff are all descended from Prima, right? So make of that what you will. But yes, you're right. He was a fugitive there. Yes. I am glad to see, according to pictures anyway, that he has a Decepticon logo because I get that he was Elite Guard. I get that he was, a bit of a pain in the neck and left. And I get the Autobots even go after him because they see him as a traitor. I get all of that. But I'm glad that he has a Decepticon logo because he fits in better there. Even though he became a Predacon and animated, I'm still glad he has a Decepticon logo. Make of that what you will. Funded Liokaiser last minute. Didn't realize I'd be paying at that time. No, well, I did, but like I said, and I would honestly only for the fact I got a new job for the next few months, and I know the effects that can have. I know a few months only sounds like a few months, but I know the trickling effects that can have. That's why I was okay with it, honestly. Sounds about the same to me. The audio sounds fine like always. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear it, guys, because we were wondering about it. Now it's kind of held up here right now with hair clips because we don't have a proper mic clip, but I need a proper mic clip. Not for nothing. Let's be real clear here. The second screen, my lights, the clip, all of the improvements, advancements, this behind me, all of this, as much as she could complain about it sometimes, all of this is Starscream wife. All of this is her doing in trying to help make the show as good as it can be, not just for me, but for you guys as well. So if it's working and you like it, then we should thank her because it's all her. Paula Eiding had a beautiful story about meeting Clive. I would recommend looking for it on YouTube. Interesting. By the way, hi, no, if I didn't say it already, buddy. I have no luck seeing Blackies in the wild, and rather than you know what? I've never seen them in the wild here, ever. I have no idea where they're even sold. I know that Maximal 10 got me a couple, but I have no idea where he got them from because I personally have yet to see them. That's a lie. I saw them at one comic shop, but only one comic shop, and only once did I see them. I found all the new figures other than Megatronus and Grimlock. I'm telling you, Big M, I mean, Grimlock is Grimlock. You know them old, but get Megatronus. I think you're going to love the guy. Really, really, really do. I'm not in for all of Wave 1. I'm not in for the aerial bots. I'm not in for Grimlock, right? And I'm really not in for Red Alert. I would, it's one of those, Red Alert is one of those, if it happened my way and to review it, he looks interesting, he looks cool, but it's just not my era. To me, Red Alert is the fire car with the red head that's, best buds with Inferno. To me, that's Red Alert, right? But I understand that that's just me. I got Solus and Wasp much earlier in the US, and they were, what? And there was only one Solus. Nice. It was meant to be. I agree. Megatronus looks pretty loaded up, 4 weapons, 4 blast effects, and a pretty good-looking leader. And you know what? Not for nothing, I was also incorrect about Onyx. I originally could have sworn that I saw that he was going to be a Voyager, but he's not. He is a leader. He's the Wave 2 leader. And you know what? Looking at him, I'm thinking to myself, leader sounds like a better fit for him, to be honest. I was shocked that Megatronus was a true blue leader. I was really happy to see that. Yeah, his mass is slightly down, but there's so much there. So much other added value that in hand, he feels every bit a leader. I promise you. And you know me, if I didn't believe it, I would not tell you to get it. I would not recommend it if I didn't believe in it, right? You guys know this. I'm curious to see what they'll do with Megatron. Maybe it could be a base for a reach. I don't think so. It'd be too big. Too bulky. I mean, they could use a skeleton of it, I guess. Maybe. He looks great next to Hegemon. I don't know. See, I'm not really in for an 86 Megatron that much, at least not now. Because, again, it got to be better than Hegemon. We're 11 years in, so Hegemon could be dethroned. But so far, nothing's come close to touching them. We'll see. We'll see. I'm good with 86 Perceptor. So am I, Albert. I'm with you. Hey, Dominic. Hey, Dragonfly. Perceptor 3-pack is sold out everywhere. I was going to order it and sell my 86 and hope to find the 3-pack somewhere. I don't know. I've seen pre-orders for it. I mean, on Canadian websites and stuff, but I'm not in for it. Can you imagine a Jada Toys Ghostbusters themed G1 Bumblebee? Ooh, that'd be wild. I'm not sure how that would. What would they do for that? How would they? Is there any way to still make him yellow? I don't know how they would do that. That'd be interesting to see what they would mash up there, though. Hey, Narek. Unless the set ends up on sale here at some point, I'll be sticking with the 86. As we go down here, I know I'm skipping some stuff. I don't mind the wait, killing me already. However, Starscream Wife is there, and everybody's saying hey to Starscream Wife. Yeah, see, Dr. Pepper lover there. I'm with you, man. So is our son. What kills me is I'll go and I'll pick up like I don't know, like I'll go to like the dollar store and I'll pick up like 4 or 6 cans of Dr. Pepper and come home and I'll put them in the fridge. And what used to happen is the boy would come out and he'd take like 4 of those cans. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Look, 3 for me, 3 for you, or 2 for me, 2 for you. Because otherwise, we're the only 2 that drink it, right? So you got to cooperate, man. We got to work together, right? Let's see. Yeah, my wife is addicted to Diet Pepsi. Like she's gone now. She'll come back with like 12 1-liter bottles and like she'll have them for a few days. It's a thing. It's a whole thing. My favorite drink actually, water. Have you ever wondered what's in my GotBot mug? It's just boring old water. Thanks, guys, for the congrats. By the way, it all happened so quick. Like when I did the show last week, I still didn't know if I was even going to take the job at that point. I wasn't sure exactly what I was doing. I didn't know how it was going to work out, but I'm glad I did. So far, so good. Tomorrow's Friday again, right? So far, so good. Really, really happy that I took the leap and the risk. And hopefully it'll be good going forward, right? Fingers crossed. I think it's a bit overpriced. I just think it's a bit overpriced. Also, I understand why some are excited for it, though. I'm assuming you're talking about the Liokaiser. Yeah, the exchange rate is what killed it here, right? But when I do the math for the U.S. price, I can justify up to. I feel like, and I haven't done it now in a little while, but like I feel like I was able to justify up to like 269. So I was like, man, it's probably about $30 over. But to me, $30 is a small pill to swallow. Yeah, it shouldn't be that. But I think it's a harder pill to swallow when you do the exchange, right? I mean, and that's just, it is what it is. That's just global currencies, right? Thanks, guys, for all of the congrats. I really appreciate it. I don't think it'll be a Viking funeral for the custom. No, I'm really kind of hoping that I'll love the Haslab and that somebody who didn't want the Haslab or couldn't afford the Haslab or something like that would like to have all of my custom stuff, right? I don't know. Maybe somebody will be like, hey, because here's the thing too. A lot of it was a work in progress to try and have all 6 members that were creations of like some 3D printed stuff that was done with rest his soul, my friend Justin from the 3D Corner. Of course, he's not around anymore, as you guys know. And I don't know anything about 3D printing, but somebody who does might be able to take everything that I got, everything that I have, everything that I had, and find a way to solidify just a little bit more, because the potential really, really is there for an excellent combiner. And he's good. He's really quite good even as he is, especially if you want to display him. For me, where I want to be able to actually use him and animate him, I really want it to be ideal. Not just a holdover, not just a, oh yeah, that's a good representation, but ideal. And that's kind of what put me over the top here. That said, if I hate the Haslab one for some reason, maybe I'll stick with my custom and try and find a way to work out the kinks that still kind of exist, right? So I don't know. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I can't wait. When we do those reviews, normally I do a Haslab all in like one review, but that's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is I'm going to do reviews for each guy, and we're going to compare the mainline Combiner Wars release to the Haslab and see exactly where those differences come in. Rescue bots. You know what? I like rescue bots. Like, I'm glad we're getting some rescue bots. Hey, Joel. Anyone interested in the Devastation Decepticon 2-pack? That's right. That's up for pre-order. We'll talk about that in a little bit too. Not trying to lie. I like those colors. Reminds me of the first edition Optimus Prime repaint in black and gold. I see why people would like the colors. Black and gold are classic and go together. So I get that for sure. Hey, Zach. Anyone have a recommendation where to start growing the collection for my son? I don't need box and everything. Probably want to get 12 or so. Thrift stores. I don't know where you live, Zach, so it's hard for me to say, but thrift stores might have like ones that people donated and whatnot. If you have, especially this time of year, heading into the spring and stuff, like garage and rummage sales, that sort of thing, I would stick probably, and I don't know how old your son is either, but I would probably stick mainline. Probably, if he's a bit younger and not used to Transformers, probably like Core Class, Legends Class, Deluxe. If you're going to go for 12 or so, I mean, you could even go for the KO route and take your chances with a place like AliExpress, which you might get good, you might get junk. You could use places like Show Z Store, might help you, you know. If you're going, honestly, you could probably go and get something at a package. It might be missing accessories on like eBay or something like that. As for the characters, who does your son like? You know, that's what it really boils down to there. But there are easy, cost-effective ways to begin for sure. We're not doing any of the cheap Transformers. USA here, all the targets are sold out. eBay is good for lots of loose figures cheap. Yeah, if you're saying not doing any of the cheap Transformers, do you mean like the gimmicky stuff and that sort of thing? I would stick with mainline. Like, honestly, let's say you wanted a Optimus Prime. Well, maybe you don't want to spend a Commander class price on Optimus Prime for your son, but maybe he'd be cool with like Devastation Optimus Prime. Does he like the Devastation video game, right? So there's definitely options out there. Target, and I'll even say this because I always say I miss Target being in Canada. But Target has great sales when stuff goes on sale, right? So, I mean, I hope that kind of helps steer you a little bit in the direction. Okay, Onyx Prime. Let's go in here. Not much came up about the behind the scenes other than like he's the Lord of the Beasts. He does have the what is it? Triglyph? Is that what it is? I can't even remember what it's called now. I can't remember the name of the thing. The mask that has the 3 things where he's able to like astral project himself, and he's able to see bots that have died on their trip to the afterlife and stuff. Except now it's going to be part of a spear. Why is it part of a spear? Because again, the primes and Age of the Primes are amalgams of different things. While this leans heavily, real heavily into the aligned continuity, the spear and putting the mask as the tip of the spear actually leans into Transformers 1. Because when we see Onyx Prime in Transformers 1, he has the spear. So that's where that comes from. Here he is, stood, holding it up. He's tall, he's big, he's bulky. He has his wings behind him. He has his spear in his hand. His tail can come off and become a bow. And yes, the spear can act like an arrow with the bow. I love the bronzy colors broken up with the blacks and the silvers and the gunmetal grays. I love the fading on the wings. I always wondered if they were going to be able to pull that off, and they did. Again, being a leader class, I'm glad to see opening and closing fingers. Don't forget that when he goes to more of a beast mode, I guess the beast head kind of closes over his face, his robot mode face, to give him more of a beast-like face. There he is next to a deluxe, being Alchemist, and you can see how large he is next to a deluxe. I love that we can take the legs from his shoulders, bring them down, and he has all 4 legs like he's supposed to have. Love the gold on the mask segments. And of course, this is his full-on beast mode. I love this. I'm completely, and utterly smitten with Onyx Prime. I'll tell you now, I don't even have this guy in hand yet. Man, oh man, I'm so built up for it. I really hope I'm not disappointed. But if in hand, if functionality, if articulation is as good as the look, this guy could easily be contender for me for top figure of 2025. Time will tell. But man, with as much as I'm hyped up, the potential's definitely there. Absolutely love this. So let's go back out of that. Again, the Bumblebee is out. I like this. So Dr. Wu did a version of Devastator, as we all know, G1 Devastator. But this is War Within Devastator. And all we have so far is a picture of War Within Mixmaster and Scrapper. And obviously the alt modes look a bit weird, but we know War Within is weird. I mean, like the Dinobots have a Y in their name. They turn into Cybertronian vehicles. These are small. They are Micromaster scaled, which means they're about 5.5 centimeters. The completed Devastator will be about 13 centimeters. You can see here, I don't know how much the articulation they're going to have, but this is an interesting project. I'm very intrigued to see where this goes. I don't know if you are, but I'm intrigued to see where this goes because Dr. Wu has really done some really nice stuff, honestly. That's the Age of Extinction Optimus that I talked about earlier. This, not much to say here, really, other than Alliance Entertainment has picked up the key assets from Diamond Comic Distributors. What does that mean? Doesn't mean a whole lot. Other than to note, let's see, that in picking up these key assets, that includes their grading authority, which they've had for a long time, as well as the support for over 5,000 storefronts. So I presume that they will kind of be the savior, if you will, for Diamond Comic Distributors. I assume that from this point going forward, that will probably be absorbed into Alliance Entertainment. What sort of changes will they make? If you frequent stores that have been previously supplied by Diamond Comic Distributors, what sort of effects will you see? Will you see price changes? Will you see, more stock, faster stock, slower stock? I don't know yet. But after they declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy, it's nice to see that somebody is doing something with that company. How will it pan out? Who knows? The comparison here for the Haslabs, you can see it right there for yourself. Unicron was the one that had the least amount of backers, and it limped to a finish line because it was also $175 US. By the time everything was done in Canada, there were people that paid like $1,100, $1,200 for that Unicron. Sorry, I never got it. Victory Saber had 26,000 at 179. Death Source 27,179. I thought the Death Source was a better value than the Star Saber, though I thought the Star Saber was a pretty good value. Then you had 28,000 backers at 249, and honestly, Omega Prime is probably the one priced the most accurately. And now at 299, 23,000. I mean, they've all been backed, but to varying degrees of success. And I think what you're really seeing is the lower the price, for the most part, the better the backers, except for Omega Prime. And really, in essence, what you're getting is 2 Commander class offerings. That's the way it was sold anyway. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's the way it was sold. So that's the way we had to do the pricing. We'll go up here. Blockies, they had a number of things that I guess they sort of showed off at their conference. And we'll kind of see these now. I'm just going to go through them very quickly. And I don't have all of these written down for who they are either right now. That's obviously a sound wave. That does look really good, by the way. You can see like Bumblebee down front. What looks to be Delta Magnus, I'm guessing over here, or Shattered Glass. This looks like it's probably Orion Pax, right? Up here, Shockwave. I think the Shockwave looks real cool. The Soundwave over here looks real good. Like, that looks really cool. I'm not going to lie. Again, these don't transform, so you got to keep that in mind. Devastator that they're doing, as well as the individual constructions in their vehicle modes. This is cute. Again, it's chibi. It's an Optimus, but, it's not for me. So, there was a bunch shown there. Yeah, the Action Edition Soundwave, the Galaxy version of Transformers 1 Soundwave and Shockwave, Galaxy, Defender, Devastator, the Classic Class, Transformers 1 Ironhide, Soundwave, and Shockwave, and, of course, the Transformers by Line Friends, Transformers Collaborative Special, which was that little chibi, cute Optimus Prime. That's a bit of a crossover, say, right? And we might as well run through this last list before I kind of go through the news there ever so slightly to make sure we covered everything. Then we got this. See, this is my problem with Masterpiece. This is why Masterpiece gets on my nerves. This is MPG Optimus Prime 04. That's what this is. They're doing a 4th version of Optimus Prime. Look, either you got to stop because wasn't the first one perfect? What about MP10? Wasn't he perfect? What about MP44? Was he not perfect? Because that's what a Masterpiece is. Now they're doing this. Now, you might say, wait, GotBot. Maybe this is different, and maybe you're right, because as I'm looking at this kind of blacked out image, I'm thinking to myself, this isn't just straight up G1. This is slightly stylized. Look at the upper chest. Look at the top of the windows in truck mode. This got, and I don't know if this will be the case, but man, this got some strong Studio Ox vibes to me. Real strong. Even look at the pelvis and the hips. Like real strong Studio Ox vibes to me. So if you're going to do another Masterpiece Optimus, it can't be G1. It could be this. You could do a Masterpiece Armada Optimus. You could do a Masterpiece Transformers Prime Optimus. Something different. I hope that this is meant to be a Studio Ox. Only because if it's another G1, then you know what? I've lost all respect for Masterpiece at that point. It's supposed to be perfect. And third party doesn't count because that's Masterpiece scaled. You call yourself Masterpiece. That means you're calling yourself perfect. And you keep doing the same characters over and over and over and over and over. It's boring. It is to me. Maybe it's not to you, but it's so dull to me. Then we had some images of the Constructicons. I'm not going through all of these, but I will go all the way down to, where is it? I was going to go all the way down to, I thought I was going to go all the way down to, yeah, to here. And this particular image, of course, the G1 Devastator in behind, you got the G1 lads down front. However, you'll notice that we have the Studio Series ones that are the lighter green and the Combiner Wars ones behind them. When I look at the Hook, I don't feel like the new one has better arms, even though it has a bicep swivel. I still feel like the elbow looks really precarious. I thought that with the Combiner War, so I replaced the precarious elbow with an add-on kit, the Perfect Effect add-on kit. When it comes to long haul, I wish that long haul was bigger. I like the size of the Combiner Wars long haul, but I do like the overall body look and the arms of the 86 long haul much better. Much better, no doubt about it. He's not this tubby, chunky lad. He looks like he has thighs. He has lower legs, you know, like he has what he needs to have. That said, my long haul also has alternate arms because of the Perfect Effect set. If you have the Takara version of the Combiner Wars Constructicons, it's hard to say that the Studio Series 86 ones are better. It's really hard to say. Here you can see them all. Like, I don't know. Like, I think it's kind of a lateral move here. If you like this better and the scale of it better, then go for it. I don't see a reason not to. Kind of the same with long haul, but what really sees me with long haul, if I can find it here now. This, I hate this so bad. It's obviously Devastator legs and waist and stuff. Like, it's so obvious. It's not even well hidden. This is why I don't like when combiners have extra parts like this. I get it. They're doing it as a tow along, as a trailer and stuff. Like, I understand you're fitting it in, but this gets right on my nerves. I'm not a fan of that. But again, that's just me. I don't think the new Devastator is bad because I know I kind of griped there a little bit. I don't at all think it's bad. Actually, I think it's quite good. As a commander class offering, I think having the two of them is probably an okay way to go. I don't know if they're both supposed to be Voyager or if one is Voyager and one is Deluxe or what. But I feel like if it's two Voyagers at a commander class price, I feel like that's a good value. That's a big if. But it doesn't mean that it's perfect because I don't like the added parts. That's just me. Then we have Star Convoy. And I have been very curious about how he sort of fits in, so to speak. So if I can find what I want to find, let's start off here. When we compare him, forget about the original Star Convoy for a minute. Look at the Select Star Convoy and look at Optimus. So the Selects is certainly bigger than Optimus because the Selects is when a leader class was a true leader class. The new one is definitely much bigger. It is a more accurate scale. It is really the size that Optimus should be when he becomes Star Convoy. No doubt the new one is the right scale. Doesn't bother me in the least to say that. Everything about him is a bit bigger than it was with the original. Now, then we have these. And this is that part of the base. And I saw this. I was like, there's clips on this. I don't know what to think of these clips, right? And then I look at this. I'm like, okay, that looks pretty clean and stuff. I'm okay with this. And then I see this. Oh, you put them on the back of the legs. Oh, you put them on the back of the legs. And look how much bulk that adds. Is there another one? Or is it just that one? I think it's just that one. Like, look at his hand. Look how much bulk that adds to the back of the leg. I wonder how it affects, if it affects, the knee articulation. Now, that said, all that being said, I saw this and I was like, wow, Combiner Series is a bit bigger. Yeah, he's about 15, maybe even 16 inches. Yeah, that's a good size. And then I saw him next to Devastator. I'm like, oh, he's a lot smaller than Titan class Devastator. And Titan class Devastator wasn't a big Titan. You know, so like I'm not angry about it by any stretch of the imagination. You know, I'm really not, but I don't know. I feel like it's Supreme class. I'm okay with it being smaller because they lowered the price. I think it's accurately priced too. I think it's a great Star Convoy. Much like with Liokaiser, I don't know if I'm in for it. I'm happy with my selects. I just don't know if I need it. I might not. I don't know. I'm on the fence about this one. Well, time will tell. We'll have to wait and see. Then we get to this. And Master Far already talked about this with Wild King. And I watched episode 1 and 2, and like it's exceedingly Japanese. Exceedingly. You very much need to be into anime. You need to be into that style. You need to be into the, all of the stuff moving in the background when they're transforming. And you have to be into like the, the kind of techno-y type of music and the stuff that appears on the screen and all of this sort of stuff. I thought the animation was generally well done. I liked that when they talk, their eyes kind of light up, but their mouths don't move. Megatron talking and his mouth not moving, I found wildly off-putting. Wildly off-putting, even though I like the look of it. It did, however, feel like a just real big glorified 10-minute commercial. Like I didn't feel like I was watching a show. I didn't feel like there was a story that was deep enough to capture my interest. It felt too random for me. I wanted to know certain things like, what planet are they on? Are they on Earth? Why are they on Earth? Now, maybe some of that is indeed explained in the dialogue. I'm sure it has to be. But I feel like it would be done in a boom, boom, boom type of fashion, very quick and kind of glossed over with probably the simplest of answers, if it's done at all. So I like the concept. And I do like that, like when Megatron comes, he already got a dino arm that's firing. So Optimus is like, oh, no, this ain't no good, baby. And his arm comes off and the giraffe lad is like, I'll be your arm, Optimus. It'll be dandy. And like, that's what I'm sure that's not the dialogue, but you get the idea. This is, as somebody who's not remotely an anime fan in the least, this ain't for me. It's not. I watched it to give it a chance, but this is not at all for me. It might be for you. And the yellow on Optimus's windows, it's not working for me. It's not for me. Do I think it looks better than some of the other junk we're getting? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But is it particularly for me? I don't think so. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll grow on me. It could grow on me. Not for nothing, the Revenge of the Fallen Overload reissue is out in the US with packaging. If you didn't see it already, packaging. There you go. I don't know why they're redoing Overload. What about the rest of the Constructicons? Like, it's just so weird. Like, we're going to do him by himself, but not the rest of the Studio Series Devastator. I don't know. It's weird. Like, did a lot of people really miss out on him when they were trying to do that Devastator? AMK, YOLO Park showed their AMK Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime full reveal and pre-orders and all that. Again, I'm not going into that. We've seen a million pictures. I do find that YOLO Park goes real overboard with their promo pictures. Robosen, I think B talked about this last week. Robosen showed their flagship G1 Bumblebee in hand images, of course. And yes, you could certainly check it out. Now, they did a non-transforming robot version of Bumblebee, and this one will transform. The price I saw was $949 US. So $1,000 for Bumblebee seems like a lot to me, but maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I mean, it is robotics. It does make me wonder, though, if they're actually going to do Devastator, right? If that comes to full fruition, and I'm sure it's capable. They have the technology. We can do it. Doesn't mean we should do it, but we can do it. I feel like if Bumblebee here is 1,000, okay, each Constructicon is probably going to be 1,000 because I assume that there will be robot and vehicle, and then they need to combine. So I feel like that's going to add even more. I feel like that to do Devastator all in, I feel like you're going to be looking at about somewhere between 6,000 or 7,000 to 10,000 US. I feel like that's how it's going to be, and I don't know if that would sell. It wouldn't for me. It absolutely would not for me. I mean, I was on the fence about that Liokaiser, and that's 7 bots in one. I see this, and I respect the fact that it's got a bunch of electronics and stuff, but like $1,000 for a Bumblebee that does it all on voice command. It's not for me. It's not for me. Maybe it is for you. And the last piece of visual news is, of course, the 2-pack that went up. We knew that March was like a bunch of Thursdays for Target and pre-orders. And first it was DevCon, then it was the Perceptor pack, and now it's this pack. I'm not a huge fan of the Earthrise Seeker mold, but I've said many times that I think it works better for the Coneheads. I really like the Run Amok Runabout mold. So I'm okay with it being used here. Really okay with it, honestly. Another Decepticon soldier, sure, why not? Another, I guess, Seeker, sure, why not? And he comes with like Optimus Primal blades, cool. That said, where are the blades here? I don't see them stored here, you know? So I'd like to know where they store, personally. So I don't know if I'll be in for this or not. If I see it, cool. I'm not pre-ordering it. But if I see it, and I guess here being Target, I guess this would be, I don't know, I guess this would be a GameStop exclusive here, I would imagine. I don't know. We'll see if I see it, but I'm not going to go hunting for it. And with that, I'm going to close that out. All right. I'm going to check in with you guys here a little bit because I know that you got stuff to say. Actually, let me go up here. I think it was about here that we stopped. Let me just take a second here now to make sure I got through all of the news. I'm going to give you guys the trivia. I'll catch up here, and then we'll do the unboxing, and then we can get out of here. So let's see what we got here. We've done the AMK Pro Optimus. We've done all of the several releases. We talked a little bit about Perceptor. Again, like I said, yes, I think this piece is the slightly downsized piece. And while I have a tab on the back, it's nice that, you know, there is something being done now for that. I get the appeal. I do. I get the appeal. I don't think I need it, but I get the appeal. I'd like to have a ram horn. And if I don't, I guess I'll stick with the Titan's Return. It's really as simple as that. 86 character profiles. We talked about the Liokaiser updates, the Haslab stuff. Remember, fall 2026. The new era Optimus Prime. The Onyx update. Triptych mask. Sorry, the Triptych mask. Yes, that's what I was looking for. We've done trivia before on the Triptych mask. Dr. Wu, War Within, we talked about. The Wild King stuff we talked about. It's not that it looks bad. I think it looks good. It's just, it's too Japanese for me. It's just, I'm not into the whole anime style and styling. I know it's popular. My son is wildly into it. Loves it. It's just, it's not mine. MPG Optimus Prime, that I hope is a Studio Ox, all of the new blockies, Star Convoy, the Hook and Long Haul, the Diamond Comic Distributors stuff, and yeah, that's it. So the trivia, my friends, tonight. Who does Micronus consider his closest friend from the 13 primes? So of the 13 primes, who does Micronus consider his closest friend? A, Onyx, B, Solus, C, Nexus, or D, Alchemist? Which one does Micronus consider his best friend? Onyx, A, Solus, B, Nexus, C, or Alchemist, D? Now I'm going to catch up. And when I get down, I guess, to your answers, we'll know that I'm caught up. Let's see. Wild Thing stuff looks cool. I think it looks good. It's just not particularly for me. I do recommend, if you do check Transformer Land, check the complete tab side of the tab or not sealed. Yes, Transformers Land is another good resource to go to. That's a good point, Caldeo. Good call, man. I didn't think of that, but good call. I got the Legacy Medics. I like Medics, honestly. I like the look of Medics. I just wish the chest stayed tabbed in, but I do very much like the look of Medics, right? Which again would be like a Rescue Bots type of thing, right? Like that's who I would put Medics with. Chase, Heatwave, you know? Seems like a good idea to me. Hey, Toy Slice. I can see why people would like this. It's just not my toy taste. And you know what? That's a good way of putting it. I can see why people would like certain things, but it's not my toy taste. Nice way of putting it. I like that. Product does not actually float. Oh, that's fantastic. Definite must for me. Looks like posable art. I was going to say that just be sure that you don't keep your hopes up just in case it turns out to be a stinker. Absolutely. Universal Collision, of course. Man, I'm going to be so happy when I got that season 2 finale done because it is the burden of my life. And I already know what I want to do with season 3, which should be once we get to it, should be a lot more boom, 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 because it's a tighter part of the story. That's all I can say. It's a tighter part of the story. But Liokaiser does appear in that pretty much from the beginning. So pretty excited about that. I got G2 Laser Optimus. What's everybody's thoughts on that version of him? Some people love him, some people don't. So I reviewed it. I like it fine. I do wish the shoulder pauldrons moved with it. However, that being said, that was on loan to me. As for the mold, I do have it as RID Scourge, which I really think it's perfect for. And I have it as Toxitron. So I like the mold. I get that it gets a hard and wrap, but I think it's a good mold. I think it's a great mold to have, honestly. My dad is a G1 purist and almost started crying when he saw it. I mean, I think it's a great looking Optimus. I could totally understand why somebody would like it. And not for nothing, the original in the 90s was an excellent mold as well, which I've also reviewed. Would have been nice to see you get the red target version of that Optimus Prime. My Prime is sitting in my BBTS loot, gonna be shipping this weekend. Nice. Happy for you, Dragonfly. Speaking of characters who've been fatigued, this Optimus is more Studio Ox. I think I agree with you, Big M. I'm hoping it is because, man, I'm just so tired of them trying to do a G1 Optimus that just leave it at 44 and 10. Just leave Optimus alone. Those ears are huge. Optimus Prime equals money. But see, that's the thing. Like, Marcus, you're saying Optimus Prime equals money. How many times will people say, I'm going to buy Optimus Prime? Like, I'm done. I got 86. I have zero interest. Even, like, I saw the Devastation. I'm like, not even remotely interested. Saw the Deluxe that is like the toy accurate one. Didn't even faze me. Wasn't even slightly interested in it. Now, I get it if you only collect Optimus Prime. I get it if you have like 10 characters and I love them. I collect these 10 or something like that. But to me, when it comes to that shelf space, when it comes to that money, I say that's better served with a whole different new character. That's just me. That's how I collect. So Optimus Prime equals money? Not for me. Something new and different equals money. Onyx equals money for me. Alchemist equals money for me. You know? But Optimus? Nah, I'm Optimist out. Never collected MP, easy pass. Best thing MP did was Autobot cars. They were pretty good except tracks. I didn't mind the tracks, but yeah, he had his issues, especially the shins. I did, however, love the Blue Streak mold. I'll give credit where credit's due. The MP Blue Streak mold is fabulous. Devastator grinds GotBot Gears to a little bit. The original G1 Devastator was parts forming as well. Yes, he was. You're right. The G1 was. And I never had the G1 either because I didn't know what to do with all the parts when he wasn't Devastator. And I don't like just laying them aside. That gets on my nerves. Got on my nerves with Thundercracker from G1. And got on my nerves ever since. I don't even mind if you could take the parts and like somehow put it on. Those are some Cybertron level stomping boots. That's some Cybertron level stomping boots. I like that. I've been debating on getting the undersized Combiner Wars Devastator KO and the new Studio Series Devastator. I'm trying to convince myself that the new guy is going to be worth $350 versus $45 for the older. Here's what I could say to you about it. Let's just take Scrapper as an example. If you get the cheap one, I mean, it's fine, but he won't have elbows. And the back of his legs are kind of hollow. The new one will have better articulation, about the same size, and I don't know if the back of his legs are hollow. If we take Hook, I think they're comparable, except one is smaller. There is a bicep swivel, so that difference is there. We take Long Haul. the Studio Series one has significant improvement because without the add-on kit and for the undersized KO, you're not going to be able to get the add-on kit because it's not made smaller. He won't have elbows and his arms will like be to the side. So it's hard to say. If you're getting it only for display and you don't need it really to articulate and do stuff, the KO is probably good enough. But if you're like, man, I think I'm going to want to fiddle with it, I would say get this Studio Series and let me review it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That Star Optimus comes across as a young child's play set. I can see that. I think it's because of the like shade of red and stuff used. Triple changes are Voyager and Star Prime Titan. Yes, he is. I'm having a hard time convincing myself it's worth the price considering how similar they still are. And that's fair. That's fair. Should have called it Supreme Class. I agree. It is Supreme Class. No budget for mouth flaps. I feel the same way about Optimus. He looks cheap quality-wise. Beast King gives me Robot Masters vibes. I could see that. I totally see that. Hey, Brian. Watched episode 1 and 2 with subtitles. I didn't even think of putting on subtitles. Anyway. Did it tell a great story, Big M? With the subtitles. Did it tell a wonderful story? Giraffe is doing his best. Megatron aim. What? Megatron arm impression. Giraffe is doing his best. Giraffe is doing his best. That should be the dialogue. I agree. I should do all of this Japanese stuff with my own dialogue and let you guys see what the story's like. A glorified commercial. That does that sound familiar to you? That's kind of like Transformers Media is a but see, I don't find that. Like Beast Wars is not a glorified commercial. There is deep character development and storytelling there. Prime, Earthspark. No, I don't see any of them as glorified commercials. I don't even think G1 Season 1 or Season 3 are glorified commercials. They had overarching stories. G1 Season 2 was glorified commercials.
You are still on the show.
I am. We're almost done, though. I'm just going down through the comments. I got to do the unboxing and get out of here. On the fence of Star Convoy, I'm already in 400 on pre-orders. Yikes. With Titan Scorponok and Titan Trypticon. Yikes. I have the KO Bruticus, so I would assume it's similar quality-wise. I did a lot of custom work on my Bruticus. And honestly, Daryl's Bruticus looks fabulous, guys. Really looks nice. Man, I know, Joel. The season two finale's been forever. I know I am a bad GotBot. Hey, Ken. Hasbro's doing a weird victory lap with these reissues. I think that they're doing it because so many people missed out on them, especially with economics and distribution and the whole pandemic thing. I think it's good they're doing the reissues, honestly. That Bumblebee is over 1K. 1K US. Daryl? 1K US. Wild. Hey, Ken, if I didn't say it already. BS Prime says they had a whole event today at the store, at the TF store for the Robosen Bumblebee. I can get 3D prints similar to the add-on kit for free, which is always nice too. The Deluxe United Prime. Nobody. Wait. Oh, here we go. Here are the answers. I went down past them. B-A-B-B-A-D. D for the drinks. The answer is, my friends. Hey, Matthew. The answer is A. Onyx. He said Onyx was his best friend. Yes. Okay. So that being said, my friends, only one thing for the unboxing. Tomorrow, we're actually going to do something kind of fun for Friday. We're going to look at, I did a custom job, a more intense yet simple custom job on the Netflix War for Cybertron Soundwave, the one that has yellowed for so many people. And I know that if you use airbrushes and stuff, like you can do a beautiful job on customizing him and getting it past all of the discolored gray and whatnot. But I said, what about for those people that have that sound wave? They're not in on the United. They can't afford it, or they don't want to double dip on it, but they're so sad that their sound wave has changed color and been ruined. Can you just use simple, cheap techniques to get it past that? Well, that's what we're going to look at tomorrow, as well as its comparison with the United. So that's going to be tomorrow's video. Then we have the other two Target Masters that I showed you guys last week. That'll be probably Tuesday's video, if not next Friday's video. But the other video for next week is going to be, are we ready? Boom, Prima. Good old Prima that a bunch of people got. Love this guy. Really, really, really happy with this guy too. And again, to my shock, much like Optimus Primal from Kingdom, this guy is a true Voyager, but you got to see some changes in value. Love his sword. Really love his sword. The storage of it is a bit wonky. It's not what I tend to do. And there is a QC issue that some people have reported that mine doesn't have, but I'll talk about it when we review Prima. Real happy to have him. So that's it. We've gone through the news. We've gone through the countdown. We didn't have the stream drop. You guys seem to like the microphone thing. Everything seems like it worked out pretty good. I love you guys. I appreciate you coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you are in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring. Or, of course, you can hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you are at it, hit the subscribe button. Stick around and have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, not for a moment, not for a second, that you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit here in the live streams, or, of course, inside the videos. I know I screwed that up. It's been a long week. New job and all. Have a great weekend, guys, and I'll see you guys here next week.